Yeah, we have a relationship quiz, which might decide how fancy of a restaurant we go to.
Might end up in
based on my answers.
Might end up in a fight. Me walking out.
Well, the question I'm going off of is called "How well do you know your partner?"
Oh no,
that sucks.
Yeah, so this is perfect for "Am I staying?" What they should call this.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think I might score better than you.
We'll see.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Zoltan. I am Zoltan. This is episode 365 coming at you in beautiful New York City. Before we get cooking... 366? It's Thank you, Mike.
Sorry, I didn't know if you wanted to start over, but
no, there are no take twos. There are no take twos on This Week in Zoltan. We put up what we put in and we put out.
I don't think you've ever gotten the number right.
I don't think they matter. I've been doing this podcast for so long, and most of the episodes you can't find because I refuse to pay for premium storage service. But this is how we wanted to start the show. This week's episode, we got the lovely, my wife is on camera for the Valentine's Day episode, Emma Bassiri. And of course, we got Mike on the ones and twos, eating chips. Pew, pew,
I got my mic down when I chew. Back up.
Some people, I remember the Stone Cold Steve Austin had a podcast, and I think he has a deviated septum because he would just breathe into the microphone while other people were talking. And people were like, "Hey man, you got a nose whistle that's really killing us," but it didn't slow him down. He's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I don't give a shit what your candy ass says.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Goddamn. That's not anybody. I'm horrible at it.
You did a good Obama yesterday.
I did do a good Obama.
Let's hear it. That's not it.
No, now I feel so much pressure. Oh, I can't do it. But it was, I was like, you had just burped. And then I was like, I like that you would do that in front of anybody. And you're like, yeah, I'd probably do that in front of Obama. And I'm like, I wonder what he'd say. And we were like, oh, he'd probably have a long pause and be like, that's why I like this country. Women, immigrants can come over and burp in front of a president's face. So it's not that good. It's pretty damn bad.
That sounds like a politician thing, though. You kind of nailed it.
I was trying to do the pauses, and I felt the pressure. It's always, I like doing impressions at home in the privacy of our homes. Mike watching and judging me,
Oh, I am.
I know.
And I'm doing both.
I'm watching.
I'm watching and I'm judging.
My favorite is when you do a British accent. It's
not
so
even
bad.
Close. Chip, chip, cheerio.
Oh, God.
It always, in my mind, I have a great British accent, but out loud, it's just like that. Is it, hello?
Hello.
It's terrible.
Something. I don't have anything. Like, what's a British guy thing to say? Look at them birds over there. We'll slap them on the arse.
Oh, God.
Don't they say arse instead of ass? They had like an R to words.
They had a lot of
so,
letters
yeah.
to words.
Give you a good washing.
I think that was Chinese.
I think that's
not Chinese.
I think that's Midwestern. Warshin.
I remember working at we'll get to the Safe Journal here in a second. But I remember at Daryl's shop, Daryl had a southern accent, even though he wasn't from the South, and he would say Warshin. Warshin. And he had these two Mexican dudes that would work there, and they were English as a second language. So they would think that the way to say words is the way he said words. And so one time, this kid Alex comes into the office where I'm working, and he's like, "Hey, Zoltan, you know where we're keeping the washers?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "The washers?" And he's like, I'm like, "Those are washers." And I know Daryl throws R's on things, but there's no R in washer. There's no R in vagina. Like, vagina? Like where do you...
I had to think about where it would go.
Yeah.
Vagina?
Vagina? I've heard that once or twice. Daryl never said it, but that's not the person to learn English from. God rest his soul. Before we get really cooking, I want to give a shout out to our one and only sponsor, the Safe Journal. SafeJournal.co. 25% off. Sorry, I got a chip in my throat from the salty spicy chips you gave me before we started recording. 25% off if you use Zoltan and the promo code, and I send you a handwritten note. If you want to know what the Safe Journal is, well, gosh darn, I'm about to tell you. If you're new to journaling or you're a professional journaler, the Safe Journal is the journal for you. It's structured but not intrusive. So it gives you a little of what to do, but it lets you do what you're gonna do. Get your thoughts out there on paper. And you might be depressed. You might be going through a rough patch. There's no better way to get to know yourself than through the Safe Journal. And if you're doing great and you're just the peak of positivity, well, you're living a lie, my friend, because underneath it all, there's something deep, dark hiding in all of us. And if maybe you sit down with a pen, you'll find out all that positivity is a facade of a broken man.
Oh my God.
What? Get to know yourself with the Safe Journal, safejournal.co. It's honestly a great way to get into the perfect habit of journaling. It's a great way to build the discipline of journaling to where you do it every day. You can reflect, you see where you've been, you see where you are, and maybe, just maybe, you can tell where you're going. Safe Journal, safejournal.co. Co, not com. Co. Zoltan at checkout, 25% off.
I think that was your best one.
Was that the best one?
Yeah.
See, it's the best when I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to go do, they sent us a Robo litter box. I'm officially an influencer.
Wow.
I know. Because I can't afford it, but they sent me one for free, but I got to make a reel. And I got to do it without, like, I want to make a reel, but I don't want to sound all salesy. I just want to sound like, hey, we got this Robo litter box. Our cats are turning in it. They seem to enjoy it. And I'm like, I don't want to write down a script because if I write out a script, I'm just going to sound so robotic. I just got to talk about it, you know?
The turd burglar.
Yeah, we named the device because it connects to the Wi-Fi. So I had to, I don't know why the litter box connects to the Wi-Fi, but it connects to our Wi-Fi. So you had to name the device. I came up with turd burglar because I'd heard that before, and I was like, that's good for a litter box.
I think you got it from your mom. Because she was like, I'm here to steal your poopies.
Oh my God. My mom used to watch the cats when we lived in San Diego, and we could see her on the Ring doorbell. And my mom would walk into the house. Hello, kitties. I'm here to steal the poopies. and she's saying this to the cats. Like, we're not home. And we're just picking this up on the Ring cam and the pet cam. We have all these cameras. Yeah. And my mom, what a lovable lunatic. I love her. But, yeah, what'd you find there, Mike?
I can't find why it needs Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. I get a notification on my phone. So, like, when I'm on the road, I'll get a notification that one of the cats took a number 1.
Cool.
Just to make sure they're not constipated.
Sometimes I guess we don't need all the info, right?
No.
Like, it's unnecessary.
It is unnecessary.
Great product, though. Glad they're on board.
By the way, if you want to sponsor a podcast, well, let me tell you, we have room. What if like this was the Robo litter box and on top we put the Safe Journal? It'd be so funny to make a weird shrine structure of all of our advertisers once we get that going.
Yeah.
Because someone on one of the other episodes we were talking about you having compression socks.
Sure.
And they're like, we should get a compression sock sponsor. So it's like a litter box with like compression sock, like stocking, like at Christmas dangling off of it.
That'd be fun.
And then on top the Safe Journal. I think that would be a good mix at the time.
That.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, thank you for joining me on camera. We're doing a special couples edition because it's Valentine's Day tomorrow when we're filming this. And right before we started recording, we realized we don't even know what we're doing for Thanksgiving. Or Thanksgiving.
I don't even know what time of year it is.
I think Zoltan's hungry.
I think I am. I think this is what happens when you record 2 episodes on the same day. I'm just thinking of food. Valentine's Day. I have no. What do you want to do for Valentine's Day?
Eat.
You just want to eat? That's what I want to do all the time. Do you want anything?
I don't think so.
Like something, little flowers or
If
something.
you want to throw in a little something, I'll take it, but you don't have to.
I like, I'm going to get flowers or something. Or maybe I won't. Then it'll be a surprise. But I don't know if Mike feels this way because he's in a relationship. But anytime I buy flowers for you, I buy them and then I walk home and I watch people's faces watch me carrying the flowers. And I can tell they're trying to decide if I'm trying to like stop it, if I'm like in trouble or if it's a holiday.
Yeah.
You know, and, like you can tell sometimes by the way a guy walks with the bouquet, like, whoa, he's hoping this smooths it over. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight on these flowers.
If it's too much flowers,
Yeah.
that's an apology flower.
Yeah. Every time I see a guy holding flowers, though, I'm always like, "Oh, that's so
I get
sweet."
that.
Yeah.
One time I got a jaded woman who's like, must be nice. Like she sounded like a receptionist from the 50s that's been smoking since birth. And she said, must be nice. And I was like, well, you don't know. But that's true. The bigger the bouquet, the bigger the issue that the flowers are attempting to solve. Like the biggest bouquet is clearly for a funeral. Like you're like, wow, this is the last one. We might as well go big or go home.
Yeah. No, I like to do flowers on non-traditional. You always keep them guessing.
Ah, yeah.
Random flowers, I think, are way better
Those
than
are sweet.
Valentine's flowers.
Random flowers
Yeah.
are the best. I once had like a 3-week run where every time I'd go do the podcast before you came and started doing them with me, where I'd bring flowers home just as a nice surprise. And after the third one, you're like, whoa, again? And then I'm like, just letting you know there won't be any next
Yeah,
week. 'Cause I
you just
threw-
ruined it.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that idea.
I just always think of like the 1950s stereotypical guy coming home from work and just like, oh, you know, here you go, honey. Oh, there's stew on the table, you know, and then
But it's not in a bowl. It's just on the table.
it's just on the table. It's butcher paper. We're gonna lap it up like dogs. But yeah, that's the realm I was trying to bring in.
Very sweet. What do you want me to get you?
Oh,
Ooh,
I don't
a
want
good
it.
question. You don't get that a lot.
No,
Men don't get asked that.
Men
hardly
don't
ever.
get ever. Like Emma likes to reciprocate, which I really appreciate. You like to also give a gift, but I also don't. My new Apple Watch because my screen's broken, so like nothing works on this half. But I also think an Apple Watch is way too big for Valentine's Day. Because then my box of chocolates is going to look so lame next to an Apple box item where I'm over there unpeeling and unsheathing a new watch for 10 minutes.
What if I use your credit card to buy it?
Well, now it's not a gift. Now I think you ran an errand for me.
Now it's deductible.
Yeah, we're also doing our taxes. I think by the time this episode comes out, we have talked to our tax guy on the phone. And so we can ask him. I'll be like, is an Apple Watch deductible? Like, I have to look at
What
it.
if I read
just write a
emails
joke
on
about
it?
it.
Yeah, what if I actually tried, one year, the tax guy, I put in my cat's vet bills. And he was like, you put your vet bills in on research and development? And I was like,
Yeah,
I
you
wrote
see
a
my
whole
clips, dude?
Yeah, dude. That's what I said. I wrote a bunch of cat material about that trip. And he's like, man, I'll put it in if you want, but if you get audited, let's not act surprised.
Don't ask for a refund.
Didn't we ask him about a gym membership once too?
Yeah, I asked him about a gym membership. I go, can I write off my gym membership? And he's like, what, for comedy? And I was like, yeah, because I got to stay in shape to like at least fit in the seats on a plane.
Wait, it's like you're a in front of
I'm in
camera
front
person.
of people.
Like, that
I'm
should be
trying to look,
write-offable.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, even right now, I keep pulling the shirt out so nothing ends up folding under a tit or a nipple. And so, like, I'm trying to look presentable in front of a camera. I got to go run to the gym and sweat for no reason. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I want a dirty tax guy. Both the tax guys I've had are pretty, like, they're trying to keep me out of trouble, which is a good thing. But I remember in Florida, you had a dirty tax guy.
Oh yeah.
And that guy was like, oh, that's deductible.
Yeah. He was
yeah.
also physically dirty too. Like every time I went over there was food everywhere. His keyboard was sticky. It was a lot.
It sounds like he was a hacker from a 90s action movie. Like every time there was one of those movie scenes where like it's always like Doritos and Cheetos next to a keyboard and the guy's always licking his fingers. And then whatever meathead was in the movie is over his shoulders because he can't work a computer. And he's like, make it do the thing. And he's like, 1 second. And then, like, yeah. Sucking each finger down.
I bet your dirty accountant was a Christian, I'm assuming.
He was Jewish.
Was he? Normally they're pretty good.
Well, you know.
Normally the non-Jewish ones are the ones you can really manipulate.
Oh, really?
Well, there's no pride. There's no lineage. You're not
There's no
disappointing your family.
Right, by doing poorly at your
Yeah.
job. I think there's a big difference of anyone that moves to Florida. I think that overrides religious background or ethnic background. It's like, no, we've made the decision to move to Florida, and listen, we're gonna get sued, but our governor wears like rain boots during a disaster. What was that one picture of disaster? Have you seen this photo?
In heels, you mean?
In heels, he's wearing like white rain boots up to his knees in blue jeans, and so he's built like a. I don't want to make fun of anyone's build, but
You can.
he's built.
can.
His body looks like a beanbag chair that they put pants on, and so it's a rough look with the knee-high water boots and then the blue jeans. Kind of it's not a good look, you know.
Yeah, he's got. Ugh, this is brutal. It's really bad. The white boots.
Is there a way you can show it to Emma?
Yeah, of course. I can show you right now. This is Ron DeSantis,
In his boots.
or Rhonda Santis, as he is lovingly referred to.
Oh, good Lord. That's a bad look.
And you know they have PR people.
Apparently not.
Like, dude, someone got fired after that one. That's like that's someone's job to go, oh, here are your white boots that you want to wear.
How about get the guy some waders? And also, nobody else is wearing boots, man.
Nobody else.
Also, it's not raining. It look like rain.
I think he was walking through like a hurricane disaster.
Oh, okay.
But it's still,
Right.
how deep are you going in there?
Yeah.
I always thought that was the most pointless thing where they send the politicians to the disaster
I
area.
hate that.
It's like the most point. Every time there's like a big flood or something. My good friend Jason Lawhead had a great joke about it. He's from Cleveland. He's like, when I moved out to San Diego to California, you guys just have fires here. Like some days it just fires. It's like you guys have a whole fire season. It's insane. And then he's like, I remember during the big fires when I first moved here, they put the governor Schwarzenegger up in a plane to fly him over the fire scene, and there's just video of him going, "Oh, fire there!" It's such a great bit. But here's what they do: they send a politician, and they just go, "Yep, that place is pretty destroyed." Why do you got to send him? He sees it. It's a video. It's
George
just like
Bush hovering over Katrina.
yeah, a week and a half later, you know, like they hadn't even rescued everybody, and Bush is over there like, I see why it took so long.
He was flying over people that were on the roofs.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't stop? No,
Yeah.
we got more disaster to see. We've got more lives to watch die. Jesus, Bush.
Yeah, Katrina. Bush, it's funny how like time heals all wounds, because Bush was one of the most hated presidents of all time. During his presidency, like Kanye West said something about him. A lot of people, it was a big wartime thing. But now everyone just remembers him as like the guy who paints dogs now. He like paints dogs. Like not that many people. I know
man.
you feel differently.
Not me, bud.
It just feels like a general consensus.
Yeah, a lot of people forgot that he was a war monger.
Yeah, we attacked a country that didn't have the weapons that they supposedly did. That narrative changed quick, wasn't it?
Well,
It was we're liberating Iraq now. Like, oh, so much for the weapons of mass.
how did you find mass destruction and then find Iraqi freedom in the same sentence? It's like, you're not really, who are you freeing, guy?
Also, this podcast episode relevant in 2003.
Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
21 years ago this year.
George Bush was right. Anyway, do you like sweethearts or sweet tarts?
By the way, Valentine's Day candy garbage. All the way. Do you have a favorite Valentine's Day candy? I feel like you're like me. You're a chocolate gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like the chocolates. What's the Cadbury? Or no, that's Easter.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of the same thing, the Cadbury eggs.
Yeah, but those are Easter. That's for the other holiday that's coming up in a month. Yeah, I don't like the sweet tarts. Those are, some comedian had a joke that those are just Tums. They're like rebranded Tums. I forget which comedian did that, but I heard someone say that once.
They were made on the same production line as throat lozenges.
Were they really?
Originally. I saw that randomly looking through stuff for the quiz for later.
Oh, yeah, we have a relationship quiz, which might decide how fancy of a restaurant we go to.
Might end up in
based on my answers.
Might end up in a fight. Me walking out.
Well, the question I'm going off of is called, how well do you know your partner?
Oh no.
That sucks.
Yeah, so this is perfect for Am I Staying? What they should call this.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think I might score better than you.
We'll see.
Wow, them fight words.
Let's do the quiz now.
Sure.
I'm feeling froggy. Are you ready?
Okay.
This might
All
be
right.
a short episode, depending on how this goes. Like, we'll be like, we're out of here.
All right. Close your eyes.
Oh,
Zoltan, what color are Emma's eyes?
brown.
Emma, same question.
Blue.
Open them up. We good? That was easy. That was the easy one.
Also, I see now why you had us close our eyes.
Yeah.
But I had to think about it. I was like, oh,
I
no.
was like, do I know the color of his eyes?
And
Wow.
it's blue with contacts in, but when I take my contacts out, they're kind of green. Even though they're not colored contacts, they just put a tint over them.
Did you know that?
Maybe.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. You have to have an answer ready for this.
Okay.
I'll ask Emma this next one. What is Zoltan's favorite thing in the house?
Ooh.
The television.
Final answer?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a good. That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, and I hope you're not embarrassed at this. My answer, the bed. Like, she goes into bed when it's not like that's her favorite go-to.
I love the bed.
Like in times, the bed for her is for times of celebration, for times of defeat, for times of melancholy. Like you love the bed. How many times have we had a conversation and it led to something great, and you're like, I'm gonna go lay down, and then you run across and go lay down. Or sometimes we'll have a conversation that leads to a fight, and then you'll stomp off and into bed. Like, and that's actually how I feel about the TV. It's for times of celebration, for times of defeat. It's either or, and we're gonna watch something.
It's there for you no matter what, just like the bed.
Yes,
Yeah.
just like a parent, you know.
Okay. Question for Zoltan. What chore does Emma hate doing the most?
Well, all right. Which one do you hate doing the most?
I wish you could write it down so you can't just agree with each
Right.
other, just to avoid it.
I can tell the one she's been upset at the most, which I don't even know counts as a chore, but just picking up my loose clothing around the house. Like, I don't know if that counts as a chore, but I think that's the one that upsets you the most.
Was it upsets you the most or hates doing?
That you hate doing the most.
I would say the laundry because it's in the basement and it's really scary down there.
Yeah, I do the laundry. I'm like Mrs. Mom down there. And I got to go, and it's like 4 flights of stairs, and it's in the basement, and there's a bunch of cockroaches down there.
That's no good.
Yeah, and then so I go down there, and she's like, "Oh, can you wash this other thing?" And I'm like, "Ah!" And I just gotta walk down I'm like Alice in the Brady Bunch or whatever. I gotta carry that.
I've pretty
down.
much established once I've gone down the stairs, that's what's happening. I'm not going back up for anything. Not happening.
But what do you think about picking up clothes after I throw them around? Is that even on your top 5?
What you hate doing the most?
Or yeah, what do you think my least favorite chore is?
Do you have it in mind?
Yeah. What's the one that gets me upset the most? Where I'm like, really?
The dishes?
No, close. That's maybe number 2.
Cleaning the bathroom?
No, that's not. I also
I
hate
smell
that.
divorce already.
No, taking out the trash.
Oh, you hate that?
Yeah.
You're always so eager to do it.
Because it's full and I know no one else is gonna. But my least favorite is when you get all these boxes, and then because we get a bunch of
the
Amazon
boxes.
packages, and then she'll just start throwing them out the front door onto the washing machine that has not been hooked up, and I'll just like come back from a trip. And there's just all these unflattened Amazon boxes just thrown into this. And I'm like, yep, I'll be dragging those down.
I hate boxes so much.
It's more that I hate boxes and not that you are throwing them out there.
Yeah.
It's more that I hate the chore of taking them down. You know what it is where the trash is in front of our apartment building is right next to a restaurant with outdoor seating, like with an overhang. So every time I go out there, there's like a couple eating or hanging out, and then I just come out with trash, and I'm throwing trash, and I'm over there like ripping a box because I forgot to bring the knife.
Well, they're trying to suck down their risotto.
Yeah, and I'm over there like stomping on a box because I forgot a knife, and I'm trying to flatten it. I'm wearing Emma's flip flops, so they don't really fit, and then I trip and I lose my balance. balance and I have to catch myself on the cans. And then they just kind of look over and I'm like, yeah, this is real life. All right. Real life's happening over here. I gotta get these, I'm turning my cankles over here while I'm trying to smash these boxes down. So yeah, I think that's why the boxes get me.
Fair enough.
It's more the audience at the bottom that watches me.
Okay, this one's for Emma. You have an answer ready, Zoltan.
Okay, I'm getting ready.
What is Zoltan's favorite smell?
Favorite smell?
I'm not making these up. I'm reading them off.
Wow.
This is parade.com, folks. This is where the interview's coming from.
I don't even know if I have one, so this is going to be interesting to hear.
I think you love the smell of steak.
Like a good steak? Yeah. Yeah. Because even after you're done cooking it, how quickly do I run back to scoop some of the fat out of the pan?
And then you're like, oh, let's leave this fat for tomorrow morning and cook some eggs in there.
Yeah. You ever make the steak eggs the next day with the
Mm-hmm.
steak fat? Oh my God. That is game changer. Yeah, I like the smell of steak. My mouth just started watering just talking about that. Oh my goodness. I'll dip some bread in there.
In your mouth?
No, I'll dip bread in the pan after we're done cooking, and I'll get a little bit of. Anyway, your favorite smell?
I don't even know what my favorite smell is.
Yeah, because you're not into like essential oils. You're not into that. I don't know. You're not a sage person. I don't know what your favorite smell is. Your makeup has a nice smell that I like. I always go back there. I'm like, oh, that's where you keep your sugar packets. That's a nice little cute thing to do when you're kissing your lady right around here, and you go, oh, that's where you keep your sweet packs. right in the back of your ear. It's also a real creepy thing to say. Like you have to be saying it to someone you have a really tight connection with. Definitely don't first date that, you know?
Someone's health conscious. Oh, you old aspartame neck.
Yeah.
What? Are you trying to be nice?
Oh, I love how the back of your knees smell like Bengay.
Look how your toes smell like monk fruit.
Monk fruit. That was monk fruit.
That's a sweetener.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an sweetener alternative.
I didn't know that. Monk fruit. I guess your favorite smell would have to be like the scented candles we have at the house. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. We're going with that. That's good. We both didn't know.
All right, Emma, this is for you. What is Zoltan's deepest childhood fear?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah. I mean, we could just do the favorite color, favorite, but these are the
No,
fun
I like
ones.
it. Let's
These are
get
fun
deep.
ones, yeah.
Deepest childhood fear.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Do you have one ready, Zoltan?
I guess I'm like trying
Yeah,
to
why
come
don't you
up
go
with.
first?
Or of yours?
Yeah.
I think based on talking to you was eventually growing up and not being able to leave your parents' house. Like that was a big one for you, like independence,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and striking out on your own.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think for me, I mean, do you have a guess for me?
Something about being alone.
Childhood fear? Well, no, I think as a child I liked being alone. I think my fear as a kid was like not being able to chase my dreams. Like a fear of that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I remember in school, anytime I would tell teachers my dream of being a professional wrestler, they would get a little pushback, you know?
Biggest childhood fear, The Undertaker. I mean, it's kind of scary. He's got a brother named Kane. That's terrifying.
He's apparently dead but alive. Yeah. Like I remember I would skip guidance counselors meetings because in high school, because I'm like, they're just gonna try to get me to go to college and be like an accountant or something. Not that I could ever be an accountant, but yeah, I think that was my biggest childhood fear. Yeah.
Oh, sounds like you know me better.
Are you keeping score?
No, I should have been doing that, shouldn't I?
That's fine. You know what the end score is? Love.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you're
yeah.
still
Ooh,
together.
the passionate word of love.
Okay, so I'll give you one for you, Zoltan. What was Emma's favorite subject in school?
Oh, I would have to go with art. Yeah, she's big into art. She's a hell of an artist. She made this kind of. Well, an artist made this, and then she over-arted it and made it better. But yeah, big-time artist. Used to be a caricature artist at a theme park.
Ooh, which one?
Canada's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
It's in Canada. Yeah.
It wasn't the first one that
What if it was not in Canada? Canada's Wonderland. It's in Canada.
It's in Canada. Like they have one location in Buffalo because it's so close to the border. Like, listen, they got a Tim Hortons down there. Why not throw
it in there?
Why not add a Wonderland? I remember you said that the first time you became the first caricature you drew for a couple was so bad that you felt bad charging them for it, and they didn't even say anything. They just took it and left.
Yeah, because I applied for the job and I didn't think I would get it. And they're like, "Oh,
and
you're
also, what was the application process?
I had to show like a portfolio, but it was like I don't know how to do caricatures. Like I can do sketches and stuff like that. And yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'm not good at this. And they're like, oh, you'll get the hang of it. Just keep doing it. And so I started doing it. And my first one, I'm like, I can probably do this. And I could not. It was so bad. Like so bad that like it was just an awkward moment between me and the couple. And I'm like, you guys don't have to pay for this.
It was almost...
I can't remember. I don't think they did. Like, I think the first few, it was just very awkward and I like wanted to quit.
Oh, no.
But it eventually got better.
How would they keep track? If you try, like, if they count your paper before, like...
No. Because you're supposed to just draw when people aren't there anyway. Nobody was keeping track of anything.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
And then you just have to like bring the cash in at the end and cut them in on your take. So you could have totally like... just said I didn't sell any, or say you sold 2 and you really sold 10 and then pocket the 8.
Yes, Zoltan, I could have stolen.
Did you do that?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, man, that would have been so sick.
Oh, I would have stolen every second I could there.
Yeah.
You pay me $3 an hour. Guess what?
This is the guy who stole during lunch sandwiches like in high school. So that was from the last episode.
I threw them like footballs across the cafeteria to see how much I can get away with.
Oh, my God.
One of the kids is in jail now. We used to go up and huck sandwiches from the sandwich line to each other to see how many we can get. It was a good time.
Wow. I actually just, when you have a flashback to something horrible you did in school?
Yeah.
Yeah, had one of those.
What was it?
There's the football guys. I wanted to hang out with the football guys at lunch. And then one day, all the theater kids would hang out on the field under this tree wearing their capes and whatnot. And one day they gave away free oranges. And so everyone's hucking these oranges at the theater kids. And I don't condone this, but I was like, yeah, I'll do it because I want to be one of the guys.
Sure.
So I aimed at nobody. I threw it as hard and as high and as fast as I could. And I see it coming down, and I'm like, oh, no. This kid with a cape is like walking towards a tree. Boosh! Right on the side, juice everywhere. And I'm like, and I just see him go down. And he's all right, but I feel so bad. And then everyone's like, they lift me like Rudy at the end of the game. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I felt like such a jerk.
Did you go to high school in a movie? All the nerds sitting under a tree with throwing oranges at them.
It's so crazy. Whenever I hear him telling stories about high school, and then I think about the high school I went to in Canada, I'm like, what? How is this even real?
It was real, man. Like, I felt so bad. Also, I called you man, which I didn't like.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you call me bud.
Listen, bud. Yeah. Oh, my skin's crawling from remembering that story. Yeah, I hit a kid in a cape with an orange. And all of my fellow football players were very proud of this moment. And then I was like, I don't like the feeling of that. I like the feeling of the adulation, but I was like, because I honestly, you know what? There's this scene in The Simpsons where Bart's trying to hang out with Nelson. And he's like, hey, I got a BB gun. Do you want to go shoot this quail in my backyard? And there's a bird in a tree in the backyard. And he had a baby, like in a nest. And he's like, yeah, go ahead and shoot it. And Bart's like, I don't want to shoot it. So he purposely like pointed it away and then shot it, and it still killed the bird. And then Nelson's like, wow, you really adjusted for the crooked sight, too. And that's what this orange throwing situation towards the guy, because I aimed at nobody.
Of course.
I was like, I'll just throw it far and fast. It would have been better if I aimed at a kid, because my aim's so bad, I wouldn't have hit it. I wouldn't have hit anything. But I ended up square in the face. Do you still love me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. And if that person that I hit I'm so sorry. I hope you're doing great.
So that was your favorite subject in school?
What was orange throwing? Art class. Oh yeah, what was my favorite? I don't even know what
I would have to say like English.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, English. Anything where I got to, because I do read a lot. even though I didn't then. But I liked the oral presentation. That's always where I would bring my grade up. It was also where I had my first bomb. Did you used to crush oral presentations in school?
That's the only thing I had ever did good at.
I had a great streak of like 5th grade through middle school, and then I had a bomb freshman year that took all my confidence away.
Really?
Yeah, I did a speech on the French or something, and it was early morning, and all the high school kids were like tired, and I just bombed my ass off, and then I just sat down, and I was like, that sucked, and it did not bring my grade up. But other than that, I enjoyed it.
I did a lot of movies. I'd convince my teachers, like, let me make a movie about the test. And so, because I was in like the video editing course.
Yeah.
So I would make like little short films about, and they weren't good.
And then
I would get a good grade.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was very stupid, but it worked.
Yeah.
'Cause nobody else was doing it.
I would count the laughs as like as why my grade should be higher, even though what I was saying wasn't factually correct.
Were you in there, Teach?
Yeah.
I crushed.
Yeah.
You weren't talking about the Spanish Revolution, though. You were talking about Mexican food. What's the difference?
That's so true. That is pretty much what I was doing. I remember one time in bio, we had to give me and this other kid, we had to do a dual speech about like why rainforest is being taken away or forest is being taken away and it's affecting the animals. Sure. And we didn't look into it. And we didn't look into it.
We forgot to research.
Yeah, we didn't do any research. So once it came down to that, there was a dead silence, and I was like, well, bears need a lot of room to mate. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of humping and bumping, and they need a good amount of rainforest to do it. Rainforest, they don't even live in the rainforest. And then the kids laughed so much, and then the teacher's like, that's not the reason. And I was like, well, I mean, did you hear the audience? Seems like that is.
They don't know that. It's like, yeah, because you didn't tell them the real reason.
I just realized this now, I treated oral presentations in class the way Trump does a debate, where like he'll spit no facts, but the crowd's like, woo! And I'm like, well, do you hear the people? The people clearly agree that DeSantis looks dumb.
Okay, hopefully this one's a layup. Emma, what is Zoltan's middle name?
Ooh.
Tomas.
Tamas. Tomas. And you don't have one.
No.
She didn't have a middle name. I'm glad I remembered that, because otherwise I'd be over here like, oh.
Yeah, that would be a bad one not to know.
Oh, yeah. Shillelagh or something. I'll just like make up a word and you're like, what? Shillelagh? No, not at all.
Okay, Zoltan, what is Emma's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, chocolate. Deep dark chocolate. All the chocolate. Chocolate, double
always
chocolate.
chocolate.
Chocolate, double chocolate with the chocolate in the chocolate.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit of brownie on top.
Yeah, with some brownie. Yeah.
And some chocolate sprinkles.
Chocolate sprinkles.
Emma, same question.
A little chocolate drizzle on top.
What's mine?
Anything fruity, like
So true.
just all the fruit, like pineapple and like mango and strawberry and just anything colorful.
I end up with a sorbet. She ends up getting like a sundae, and I get like a pineapple sorbet that no one ever orders. Like you can tell it has all the frostbite on the top of the tub, like it hasn't been dug into. And they're like, which one? And then the worker's like, damn, dude, I'm gonna blow out my forearm trying to claw this frozen block out.
Oh, we don't have that. It's right there. What do you know?
I suppose
Every time we go somewhere, Zoltan always picks the most obscure thing on the menu
the fruitiest thing
that nobody orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked every time I go in and someone's got key lime pie. I'm like, oh, I'll have that key lime pie. And they're like, we have key lime pie? And then they bring it out, and then it inevitably gives me the runs, because that thing's been sitting in the freezer since like a bunch of old people ordered a key lime pie. But yeah.
Okay, here we go. Zoltan, what is Emma's favorite type of pizza?
Ooh. I'm going to go Kevin McAllister. You like a good cheese pizza.
Probably. I don't even know. Pizza's my favorite.
I think this is mostly a test of how unwell we don't know ourselves. Yeah. What's my favorite pizza?
I learned a lot about me today.
This almost felt like journaling in my safe journal. Talking to someone can feel a lot like writing about yourself to yourself. What's my favorite
Probably
pizza?
like a pepperoni or a meat. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of meat. You know
Yeah.
what actually is my favorite pizza? But I haven't ordered it in a while, so there's no way you would know it. But Hawaiian pineapple. God, I love that with the little juicy fruit nuggets in with the ham, and then the glistening.
There we are with the fruit again.
Yeah, I like a good fruit.
Savory fruit, sweet fruit.
Dude, I think we've talked about this on the podcast, but like every time we go out to eat, I order what looks like a feminine order, and then you order a masculine order, and then the waiter never knows.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? Oh, I'm so sorry." I had the cucumber crust salad. And then she had a steak rare.
Okay, here's a good one. Speaking of food, whose turn is it? Zoltan.
Yeah.
So if Emma could only eat one type of food for the rest of her life, what would it be?
Oh, no. Rice and yogurt? I think that might be
Together?
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a Persian thing.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually a Persian thing for when you're when you have diarrhea.
Oh, it's supposed to block you up.
It'll block you up, but I just like it.
So she's constipated constantly.
Constantly.
She's backed up. Yeah, I just for the record, since you and I've been together, I haven't had rice without yogurt in it. Like every time I'm like, oh, nice some rice, and you always come by, whoosh, a big old glob of yogurt.
I always ask him, like, do you want some yogurt with it? He's like, no. I'm like, well, you're getting
It's so true.
Just dipping your sushi in some chobani. What the hell's going on here? Well, there's rice, so there's going to be yogurt.
You don't know. This is another thing too. Like Emma is very offering. Like she's like, "Do you want tea? Do you want yogurt? Do you want this?" I say no to all of it. She gets offended by each one, like it's a personal slight.
It's just part of the Persian culture where, like,
You offer.
and you don't say no. Like, most people will take one even if they don't want it to be polite.
Oh,
And you're just like, no. And I'm like, oh.
and then she stomps off into bed.
Sometimes I'll bring it for you anyway. I'm like, you're eating it.
Are you mad because you forget he's not Persian? Like, oh, damn it. I forgot. And the same question. One food for the rest of his life. What is it?
That's hard.
Do you know?
I don't think I know yet. I think I'm going to find out when you tell me.
You were so open. Like, you'll eat anything.
Yeah, I'm a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
I'll
I
take
think
it all.
you'll like eat a can of beans, or if you had to.
I don't know, my protein bars, my sugar bars you always make fun of.
Oh yeah, you're right. Protein
She always
bars.
rips my protein bars and goes, look how much sugar is in these. I'm like,
Yeah.
they have protein though.
You eat like 10 a day.
Well, you know. It worked on my diet. In 2017 when I lost a bunch of weight, I wouldn't eat breakfast. I'd have a protein bar. And I'd have a meal for lunch, and then for dinner I'd try not to eat dinner and have like a protein shake. And then I lost a bunch of weight.
Were you hungry?
A lot. Yeah.
Classic starve yourself to death.
It was one of those diets where I was very hungry, and then I'd go out to do shows and I would just drink beers and be like, there's a lot of calories in beers. That's like a meal. And so, but it helped. You know what the bad thing is? Like those unhealthy weight loss formats work.
Well, of course.
They work. Like I got down from 210 to like 175. And then now the key is I eat healthy. I still eat the things, but now you got to exercise, and then you can maintain that weight.
Yeah.
You know,
Diet and exercise. We'll eat right and exercise. Who'd have thought?
No, but I'm saying to lose the initial weight, you got to do it wrong.
And then go on a good plan.
Go
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, like no bread, no cheese, work out every day like a psycho, starve yourself, cry yourself to sleep. And then once the 50 pounds is gone, then you're like, let's reintroduce joy. and living a sensible,
But
balanced
at a
life.
moderate pace.
Yeah. Quit looking so gaunt. It's a good word. What's the next?
Okay, here we go. Whose turn is it?
I
It's
think
Emma's turn, I believe,
yeah,
right?
Emma.
Yeah. What is Zoltan's favorite restaurant?
Ooh.
In New York?
I guess you can pick anywhere.
Well, it would be the 7th Avenue Donuts and Diner.
I love that diner.
Loves that place.
Emma, not so much. One time they put a hair in her sandwich, and she's been turned off to it forever. But I think that's part of the experience.
I don't think you say. I don't think the phrase is they put a hair in the sandwich. I think it's there was a hair, right? Because that sounds like they were like, and hair.
It did look placed.
Yeah, what did you say? You were like, oh, it's just a little bit of New York seasoning.
Yeah. That's a little Brooklyn pepper. That's all that is. That's all a little hair in your omelet is. It's a little Brooklyn pepper. I love the 7th Avenue Diner and Donuts. I like it. I like that the waitresses are nice but mean.
They're so mean.
They look like they have a story. There's the one there with all the face tattoos who looks like they're trying to put their life back together. They don't take any guff from anybody. I love it. I love it. And then your favorite restaurant for New York? Mm-hmm. Oh, you love that Mexican spot we go to. You always try to go down there.
Which one?
Quinceañeras or something. That's not the name of it.
I think it's a Mexican party.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage for a 15-year-old girl. What's the one on 5th Ave where the waiter's always kind of on the spectrum? You know what I'm talking
Turns out
about?
it's not her favorite spot. She has no
yeah.
idea what you're talking about.
Cella.
Cella.
Yeah.
I would say either Cella or the sushi spot.
Cool.
Cool.
It's funny. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'll take that.
Really? Really?
Cool.
Sick.
Was there one that I missed?
Honestly, I'm letting you tell me.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
We're horrible for this because it's not that we don't know each other; it's that we don't know ourselves, and we're just like,
I
I
think we're
guess.
also both just really easygoing.
We
We're
are.
like, yeah, okay,
You'll pretty much
yeah.
eat anything, and I'll eat more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I'll eat
all of it.
another level. What are some things I don't like? Because there are some things I don't like.
Like food wise?
Yeah. I don't like radishes and Brussels sprouts and stuff.
Oh, no, I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. I mean, even when they you know how they do modern Brussels sprouts? We're like,
Fried
no,
up.
these are like fried and baked, and there's cheddar on them, or for some reason. But I'm like, yeah, but once you break through all that, you're still eating bad breath.
You're still eating farts.
Yeah, just pure farts in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Do we have any deep questions in there?
Whoa.
How about this one?
Make it interesting.
Where have either of you always wanted to go but have never been? Like a place.
Ooh.
Let me see if I'm going to look for deeper ones after that.
Okay. Well, you go first. Or wait. Or we're guessing each other's.
Always wanted to go,
But
but have
never
never been.
Oh, you traveled a lot. I feel like you've seen every place you want to go.
Yeah, I don't know about you either. Like maybe somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like the one that came to my head was because you've been to Japan and it looks so cool,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I want to go to
Japan.
Japan just so he can eat at that steakhouse that all those pro wrestlers went to, Ribera, and then they got a velvet satin jacket or something. I want that. And then for you, I don't know. I was gonna say like Spain because you want to go to Spain, but I don't know if you've always wanted to go to Spain or if just recently you're like I haven't done that one.
Yeah, mine used to be Japan, and then I went. So
And then you weren't that into it.
yeah.
Have you been to Japan, Mike?
No, I was supposed to go this month for a wedding, but
Oh, really?
it's like $4,000 to get over there.
Oh,
now.
wow.
It's crazy right now.
Whoa.
But never been. I'm dying to go though. It's one of my.
Who's
My
getting
favorite.
married in Japan?
Well, they were getting married in Thailand or the Philippines, and then we were going to go since we were over there.
I see.
It was just too expensive.
Wow. Because apparently Japan's supposed to be really affordable right now. Not getting there, apparently.
Yeah, apparently,
But
yeah.
staying there because the yen is not doing that great. This is rumors that we've heard.
Yeah, these are.
Yeah.
My buddy just went end of last year. He said it was who spent $2,000 for a week between two people, and they did everything.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Included
great.
yeah.
hotels, food,
Whoa.
not the travel, but they spent under $2,000 for
See,
two people
that's
for a week.
super
and it was
affordable.
like the most like luxury experience I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like
when I went, that was not the case.
Yeah, you went
Yeah.
before the pandemic, and yeah, you paid. You said everything was super expensive, and then
Yeah.
when you and I went to Thailand and Bali,
Yeah.
that was super cheap.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like in Bali, we got an Airbnb that came with a lady that cooked for the Airbnb.
What?
And we ended up not staying at the Airbnb because the moment we checked in, I hated it. There's bugs everywhere. And she's like,
You
it's
were
not
so
that. I was
angry as
so
soon as we
angry.
got there. You're like, this is the place you picked.
Dude, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Airbnb, dude. I need a hotel. I need someone to be mad at. I need someone to fix something.
Yeah.
And we show up. Most of this house is outside, and it looks great in pictures. You know what they never show you in pictures? The bat-sized mosquitoes that are flapping around. She got bit right on the side of her face.
And here, too.
Yeah, but while we were talking, we were there all of 5 minutes, the side of her face just starts swelling like that. And I go, oh my God, you just got bit. And she goes, really? And she looks at her reflection. She goes, oh my God. And then I go, let's get out of here. And I got like a Marriott down the street.
We booked a hotel right then and there.
Yeah.
But we kept, because it was such a late cancellation, this is like people that live there. So I don't think they would have given us a refund anyway, and we weren't looking for one. But we just had the lady that cooked for us, and we're like, can you just drop the food off at this hotel instead of, because she was going to cook it at her house anyway.
Oh, it was like being
and
delivered.
drop it off
okay.
at the thing for us. I'm like, can you just drop it off here instead of there? And it was the most delicious food we had on the entire trip.
Oh, wow.
It was this lady's home-cooked Balinese cuisine. Yeah, it was amazing. It was great.
That's unbelievable.
But very cheap, very affordable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I think we answered for both.
Yeah, you
okay,
both
okay.
did.
Yeah. But you brought up a good point. I am a very cranky traveler. I get very cranky very quick. And like, so I'll hold it together, and then one thing doesn't work out, and I'll be like, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm
I will
angry.
give you this. You're cranky on travel days, and the day after a travel day, then you even out.
Yeah.
But
Then I'm on
which
vacation.
which is fair. you
Yeah.
know.
And that's how I am when I come home, too.
Yeah.
Like, I came home on Sunday from Boise, just a couple weeks ago, but like, I came home and no sleep. And you're like, you're going to sleep at 8? And I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. And then she's like, but you're going to wake up in the middle of the night? And I go, I promise you I won't. And then I woke up at like 10 the next day. I slept for like 14 hours. And I was like, I told you I was tired. I'll sleep all the way through.
Yeah.
I almost got into a fight last night coming home in a cab. Cab driver took a wrong turn and was going to juice us for more money. And I was like, hey, man, where are you going? And then Becca goes, don't ask him that.
Don't ask him.
Don't ask him that. Like, no, if I'm traveling and I'm gonna say something. Like, I'm not gonna get cranked for money. I was like, well, no, I'm saying something.
Yeah. I'm on team you. I think Zoltan would be
I'm
on team Becca.
Yeah.
No.
Emma's always ready to yell at a service person.
Yeah. I'll just say my opinion politely.
Yes. No, but every relationship needs a Mike and an Emma in it.
Yeah, you gotta
What
have-
it doesn't need
Is
is
two.
two of that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's a
true.
nightmare.
That's true.
Like, imagine if both of us didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just being driven donuts around our apartment. And we're like, he'll get there eventually. We're just watching the meter break. It's like, oh, I didn't know it could get to triple digits. Good Lord.
It's smoking.
Yeah.
Guy's calling his wife. He's like, we are going to go and travel after this one fair. I don't know why he had to be Middle Eastern on that one. My apologies.
We do know.
No, we live in New York.
Yeah, we live in but yeah, every relationship needs one person that's
very true.
Yeah.
Very
But if
true.
two of you do it, good Lord, you are insufferable.
Yeah.
Insufferable together.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here's a deeper one.
Ooh.
Emma, what is something that Zoltan wants to overcome or improve about himself?
I know what that is. It's asking for things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at that.
Mm.
I don't like to trouble people.
Yeah, I
You
feel
know.
it.
Yeah. So, and he also, he just doesn't ask for things, and he wants to get better at that.
Here's a great example of this. We went to the Gotham Christmas party, and remember before we got there, we didn't know if they were going to have food. So we hopped into that nice grocery store a block before the comedy club, and I had been there before, and they have all this really good pre-made food. And I'm like, yeah, I never get it. And then you ordered, like, you got some dumplings or something, and then as we're cashing out, you're like, do you have forks or chopsticks? And then I'm like, no, they don't have that. And he's like, oh yeah, it's right over there. And then he pointed to this corner I never saw. And I'd been to the store like 5 times, and I've been eating food with my hands because I never asked the guy at the front desk if they had forks or something. Like, either I'm going to find it myself or I'll just never get it. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And our first time at the store is like, yeah, forks are over there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a great metaphor for who I am in life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm either going to find it by myself or I'll just be too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I guess I don't know how that club works. I'll never get in there.
Very true.
You get your new apartment, key doesn't go in the first time. You're like, well, I guess I live on the street. Just take it to the extreme.
That's what I do. Yeah. I never want to call the super for anything.
Yeah.
Because I can't understand him. He just yells at me on the phone. He's a very sweet man, but he just yells. I'm like, wow, that doesn't help. So what was the question? Oh, what you want to improve about yourself? Emma, what do you want to improve about yourself? I think voicing more opinions. Is that one?
I think I voiced my opinion a lot.
Yeah, you voiced your opinion.
Yeah, the last answer from you was nope. Try again.
What is something you want to improve on? It's a good question. I guess I don't know. What do you have an answer in mind?
It's the most Valentine's Day answer ever. Like, nothing, you're perfect.
Well, it's what they want to improve in themselves, not what I want them to improve. Sure. Yeah.
I guess it would be like to be better at public speaking.
Okay.
Because
I guess that's what I meant by sharing opinion was like public speaking. I'm shaving my answer into being. I was right all along.
I knew you were going to say that too.
That's what I meant. Public speaking.
Yeah, I just turned down a lot of public speaking gigs, and because I'm too scared to do it.
It's scary. It's one of the scariest things. Like if I'm scared to public speak, if it's not in the context of stand-up. Do you remember how scared I was to give the speech at Dane's wedding? Like genuinely nervous. I was so nervous, and how comfortable I was once it was over. It was like night and day difference, because in the context of comedy, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But in the context of something else, it's very nerve-wracking. I mean, didn't you were invited to a TED Talk?
It was to speak at Google.
Google.
It was like 600 Google employees to talk about Google Ads, and
because you were running a business.
It was supposed to be like a panel with like 4 other people. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. So
because it's a panel.
Yeah. And then the lady calls me the day before, and she's like, "We made a little bit of a change to the schedule. We each of you are going to do a 10-minute talk about yourselves before we do the panel." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I can't do it."
I honestly, I would have skipped that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, I'm not doing that. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's absolutely terrifying. So kudos to you. But I think you're doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Remember we did improv when I was trying to court you. I did. You were doing improv in Florida, and you were doing it to like get more comfortable talking in front of people. And I actually did improv, which is a very big. It's not a big no-no in stand-up, but there's like 2 camps. There's the stand-up kids and the improv kids. And I'm like, all right. I was trying to win you over. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go do improv. And you're really funny in it. Yeah. Like you came up with wacky things to do. And these people were not good improvisers. This is like some old lady who worked at a grocery store. Yeah. And it's just a ragtag group. Someone who came with their daughter because he refuses like... You know, like, oh, I'm trying to break her out of her shell. It's like, I don't know if this is going to do it.
Yeah, you being here is making it worse. That's fine.
You being here is making
it way worse, bud.
Yeah, I remember you were just doing stand-up the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I totally ditched the whole point of improv is you're supposed to make it up in the moment. But they would do these exercises where we would stand in line, and I'd be like 5th in line, and it's the same exercise. And you just had to come up with a random thing to say to the person, but you're supposed to do it in the moment. And I'm like, well, I'm not bombing in front. I'm trying to impress this girl. So I would think of something really funny while I'm not first, you know? And then I'd get to the front and then boom, nail it. And I'd be like, and I would just like mix in stand-up bits. Did you watch the new Dusty Slay special?
No, I want to though.
He has a great story and a great comic. Go watch it, Netflix. But he had a great story in there where he was supposed to do a TED Talk, like a 15-minute TED Talk. And he's like, I had 10 days to prepare, and I didn't. I started working on it the night before, this 15-minute talk. And it's not stand-up. And he goes, I show up, and 2 minutes into my TED Talk, I blank, and I forget everything else I was supposed to say. So he's like, I just start doing stand-up. I just started going into bits. I talk about living in the trailer park. It makes no sense to what like my point of my speech is. I'm making very loose connections. And he's like, but I'm not bombing this TED Talk. I'm like, so he's like, I'm crushing. I'm like, my speech doesn't have a point, but everyone's laughing. Like I'm doing my act. And the speech before him was this lady who had to she took a dump at David's bridal. Like that was the whole arc of her speech. And while he's back there, he's like working on his thing, but he keeps hearing this woman say, yeah, that's why I pooped at David's bridal. And his opening line of his speech was, I also poop a lot at David's bridal. And he's like, but they posted my set and they left that part in. but there's no context. And so all these people, they just turn it on. He's like, I also pooped at a David's bridal. Which is that's a stand-up trick to like, if someone says something funny before you can add on to it. Like, oh, I guess I was in that same bathroom with David and that was his toe tapping under the thing. And then it's a nice little way to like connect your sets. But
he has it on his opening line. I pooped at a David's bridal quite a few times. I found the video. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah. In the sketch, in his special, I can't believe I called it a sketch. Like someone's dad.
What are you doing, little bits?
Yeah. It's like someone's dad who does, and your kid does stand up. Oh, do that one sketch you do about the fruit yogurt. But yeah, in it, he goes, please, it's on YouTube. Don't watch it. A lot of people have. And I'm sure you're going to just
500,000.
500,000. Yeah, a lot of people have watched it. Pooped at a lot of David's bridals. But that's good. So you're getting over fear of public speaking. This is a great step. You're crushing it. Do you want to give speeches someday? Like here's a good question. If that opportunity came up again, what would you say?
Probably still say no.
What if we got to do it like this?
I'll do a panel.
Yeah, like, a panel's so easy.
It's just when I have to talk by myself, it's hard. But if I have people there, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Remember that Clubhouse one I always bring up? You crushed that Clubhouse talk.
When Clubhouse was hot.
Do you remember Clubhouse?
Never did it, but I remember people talking about it like it was the next big thing.
Yeah.
And then it died.
Then it died, yeah. It died before the pandemic. Like, it didn't even take the end of the pandemic for it to die. People were like, oh, yeah, this is dumb. But she was a part of a talk with all these, like, entrepreneurs. And I was on the road, and I listened to it, and you're like, I'm kind of nervous about doing this talk. I was nervous to talk on Clubhouse. One time I was in a comedy panel, and they're like, hey, Zoltan's here. What's up? And I'm like, hi. And then I just left. I'm like, I don't have anything to say. And I told her, I go, don't say anything. And just chime in with good lines. Every time you talk, because everyone was so long-winded and full of themselves. There's a bunch of entrepreneurs. Oh, well, when I started my business, I was recently divorced down to my last dollar, and I just had a sewing machine and a dream. And I never let anyone get in my way. And now my daughter has someone great to look up to. And it's just blah, blah, blah. It's just self-masturbatory, disgusting long speeches. And we're messaging while we're texting each other. And I go, just hang back. And then just say your blurbs when it comes to you. And then your friend who ran the talk would sometimes bring it to you. And then every line you said killed. Aww. Remember that? Every line you said killed. And then it would go back to the blowhards. Well, in Q4, we reached out to a major distributor. And I used my connections and blah, blah, blah. And then it would come to Emma, another killer line. I don't know what I'm doing, but it works. Boom. Everyone's laughing. What? And then at the end, because people could leave comments under the chat, and I remember a few people saying like, man, Emma just crushed it the entire time. Like every time she said something, it was gold. I'm like, that's the best way to do a panel. Because there's going to be the people that talk the entire time, and then there's going to be that person that waits in the shadows, just nailing singers each time, and you're like, that's what you want.
Staying in the pocket.
Staying in the pocket.
Oh, never heard that.
Yeah, stay in the pocket. What is staying in the pocket? I know it's a football term, but what is it really?
No, it's a music term.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like when a drummer that doesn't go too crazy. I mean, I'm sure they use it for other things, but that's how I know it. Like a drummer that doesn't go too nuts. And they're just like really just in the groove. That's called staying in the pocket.
Oh.
Keep it in the pocket. Like you don't need to do solos every 2 minutes. Just stay in the pocket.
Stay in the pocket.
Stay in the groove, yeah.
Because I use that for stand-up in the sense of when a crowd doesn't like me immediately. It's like, just stay in the pocket, they'll come.
Yeah.
Stay in the pocket, they'll come. And then sometimes they never do. And
it's like, don't go crazy.
Yeah, don't go crazy.
Stay with the beat. Keep it together. And then
you don't have to start ripping this guy in the front row. Yeah. I don't think that's going to turn it around.
Cool your tits.
Yeah, cool your tits.
Cool your tits, bud.
It's a very Canadian term.
Is it?
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool your jets there, bud.
Bud.
Why don't we get a couple road pops and cool your jets, eh?
Couple cold sodas, call it a night. Couple cold snacks, call it a day. You want to do one more?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, what's the last one?
This is a fun one. If you, Emma, if Zoltan had one superpower, what would it be? If he could pick a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh,
that's hard.
That is so hard.
mask his fart smells.
That's a superpower you want me to have. I'll tell you what, man. I was clearing the living room last night.
Sure.
I don't know what you fed us. You just made us tacos.
Rice and yogurt, man.
Rice and yogurt.
Should have put a little more yogurt in that rice. Kept them stopped up.
Dude, man. Like a couple of those came out so hot and so fast. I'm like, am I even wearing pants? I don't think there's anything even slowing this down. I was like, I remember Daryl used to say when he had the runs, he goes, I could shit through a screen door and not hit a thing.
That's a good one.
That's a great line. And I'm like, that's how these farts felt. Like they were coming out hot and fast, and I don't think they were hitting a single piece of fabric.
As your mom would say, I always say this: you could smell the recipe.
You can smell the recipe. It's not a good one. I thought I knew all the fart lingo.
No, my mom dropped that one on us last time we visited.
Yeah.
I fart so bad you can smell the recipe. I love all that. All right, so my superpower is to cover my farts. That's actually good because you know what else? I recently got noise-canceling headphones.
Sure.
And I love them, but they really do cancel all the outside noise. So I had my headphones on, and I was waiting for a lift outside of an airport. And I was kind of alone, but there's still a lot of people around. And I let out a fart. And then I remembered I had the noise-canceling headphones on. I don't know if that was silent or if I just let out a and so now I'm like, I felt like a deaf person. Now I'm looking around reading faces, see if anyone's like turning to go, Jesus, dude. And everyone's faces were kind of in between. Like I couldn't read whether or not.
They knew.
Yeah, I think they heard it. I think it came out like a foghorn, and I was just sitting there with headphones. Yeah.
If anyone just goes like this. That's how you know. That's how they did it.
Superpower that I think you would want. Do you have one in mind?
No, I'm waiting to find out.
Yeah, a superpower that Emma would want. I think, man, fly. That's lame. I don't even think you'd want to fly. Like, would you want to fly? I think if you flew, you would hover like low, just over everybody's heads. That's so lame. I don't know. What are the superpowers?
Pretty disappointed in your answer.
You know what? I figured it out. X-ray vision. Because you always like to, you got a little snoop in you. You always, yeah. Remember, like the other day, you went up to the 3rd floor just to see what's going on up there.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, let's go up there. And I'm like, the neighbors can hear. What if they open the door? They know we're not supposed to be up here. That's like, there's only one apartment per level.
What are you guys doing up here? I'm stealing packages. Definitely not trying to creep on you.
You just wanted to see what the 3rd floor layout was.
I just wanted to see if people put their stuff outside their door because we put a lot of stuff out, and I'm like, let's see if they do it too.
And then you wanted to go look.
And there was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't go with you. Remember, I just like pretended I was doing something else, and then you come down. We have very noisy stairs, and then you're like, they got a lot of stuff. But if you had X-ray vision, you could just and then look
All right,
through.
I like that one.
Yeah, I'd go X-ray vision.
Nothing like a good snoop.
She's a pretty good snoop. She likes to snoop around and go, oh, did you notice so-and-so's house? Not a lot of vases. And you're like, what?
Their sconce level's real low.
Yeah.
Just bare walls everywhere.
Doilies were undercounted. Underfunded doilies at that house. Yeah. I think that did it. That's a good. Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
From the past.
From the past, but to the present. How much time have we recorded? Because this is our 2nd episode of the day. I don't even know how much.
Hour 7.
For this episode? For the 2nd episode? Whoa. We've been yammering so long. All right. Well, that's the episode.
Yeah, I wasn't just trying to stop you. That's why I said last question, because I knew we were about to hit an hour. So
oh, okay.
I knew you wanted to do an hour, yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing, subscribing. Don't forget to order a Safe Journal, safejournal.co, Zoltan for 25% off. That's the discount code at the end. And I write you a handwritten note. Any parting words, Emma Bassiri?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Mike,
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
My meal forever would be nachos.
I just realized how selfish we are. We asked you none of these questions.
I've been thinking about nachos since that question. I'm like, breakfast nachos? Yeah, I mean, it works.
I'd like to have Becca here too.
Oh yeah, we'll do a
Let's
four-way.
come in sometime.
Yeah. Well, anyway, happy Valentine's Day. Cheers, everybody.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right wherever I go.